Have to click. Okay, yay, we're live! Woohoo! All right, let me see. Checking my connection. Hello, happy Sunday, everybody. We are live on the gram, on YouTube, on this King's live and my live. So I'm gonna do an introduction. So before we bring on this nice young man, I just want to say this is your college representing the Men's Center, representing the Fatherhood Initiative program, a program that was delegated to me by my supervisor, Dr. Jonathan Quash, in which I am privileged to highlight some really cool dads. Now, today, the dad we are interviewing is Jataun. He also goes by Mr. Jake, King Jake Mitch on Instagram. Okay.
Peace.
So tell us about who you are. Let's just tell the world who you are, baby.
Peace. Thank you. That was beautiful. Like you said, my name is Jataun. The reason why I go by Jake, Jake stands for Jataun's a king every day, and just like anybody else, I have my trials, my tribulations, and just a bunch of things, just confusion. And I just wanted to give myself something that I know my higher self was always present, and then the king represents royalty, it represents higher. So even when I'm at my lowest, I know that crown is there.
Yeah.
So when I say my name, when I say Jake, I'm reinforcing my higher self.
Yeah, come on, reinforcement. Yeah. Great. Oh my God. And tell us where you're from, Jake.
I'm from Baisley. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queens as well. So
right.
I hear that and I get very excited. Hometown, baby. Southside Jamaica, Queens, and it's crazy.
Right.
All right. So, guys, today's discussion is going to be called Health is Wealth.
Mom, what's up?
I just stumbled upon this young man who, Jake, I've known your face, you and your family for years, just never met you until George Floyd passed and Erica Ford had hosted this yoga event. And this is where I met Mr. Jake, and this is before I knew his name. I knew he was from my neighborhood, and it was just like so inspiring to gather the community to do yoga led by Black men coming together as a community to honor George Floyd. And because this event was so inspiring, I looked up the page and found that Jake was creating this smoothie vegan restaurant literally down the block from my street. Let me not say what street I am because the stalkers be stalking.
All right.
But
not
just know.
I'm close. I'm in walking distance and running distance.
Right. I'm walking distance too. I'm not gonna say how many steps.
All right.
I'm cute. But let me stop. So yeah, I saw that he was opening this restaurant, followed the IG, walked in, said, "Hey man, I have to." Now, first I was like, "Are you a father?" And he was like, why? No, let me stop. But I wanted to say, this guy is a father, which I thought you were. I was like, I gotta bring him on this program because we have to highlight this health is wealth that this guy's bringing into our community. So, Jake, tell us what inspired you to open the Dream Cafe located on Kaipur Boulevard.
It was so much inspiration, it was so much passion, so much purpose, so much pain. It was just everything, just growing up in that environment and just really noticing the operation of the environment, and I was granted blessings and opportunities to travel beyond my environment, so when I started spending times in other areas and seeing other demographics, I started to realize the difference, in comparison. So when I look at my environment, I realize the destruction of certain positions, certain food, certain stores, certain mindsets, especially foods. If we look at where the cafe is located, I studied this block many years. I spent so much time. It's a Royal Fried, it's a liquor store,
Mm-hmm.
It's a pharmaceutical business, a pharmacy.
Yes.
It's a dialysis. Then it's a
Laundromats.
clinic,
Mm-hmm.
laundromats, delis, and then it's a Jamaican restaurant, 2 soul foods, and
Mm-hmm.
another deli. You understand? And then you start seeing that, okay, all of these businesses are operating almost the same. There's no exchange of bringing people up from these environments.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a collateral. Here, we
Wow.
provide something for you. So it was really important not to only make profit, but to make change there.
Woo.
You understand? So I
That's
understood
insane.
the assignment, when
Mm.
it came there because I was deeply affected by the environment. So I understood how to operate, me and my brothers, so going in there, we truly wanted to bring something that was abnormal to the environment, but
Wow.
we can normalize to the people.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
all of those stores that I mentioned, there's nothing that's dedicated to the upbringing of the people or the change of the mindset,
Right.
but it all play a part to the destruction of the people.
Yes.
You
You know what's
understand? So
crazy? When you were listing the line of stores like liquor store, chicken, soul food, and then I forgot about Joseph. Well, the clinics and stuff like that. It almost like as you were saying it just now, it almost feels like what we're putting in our bodies is causing us to go to the clinic, and it's like a
right.
cycle.
So after we eat, after we consume so
Right.
much of this food, we're
We're
right in the
sick.
clinics.
Right. We're
And then
sick.
once
Right.
we leave the clinics and the dialysis, we prescribe to the pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
understand? So this
crazy. I
is
didn't even
a
think of that like
domino. You understand? This is a domino effect, and that's just the
wow.
block we're on. And now, if you
Jesus.
go down up the block, these blocks are built the same way.
That's
If you
crazy.
go down Jamaica Ave, these blocks are built the same way. But now, if you travel to San Francisco and San Diego, you
Mhm.
realize these environments are built the same way. There's
Wow.
nobody there that's saying, destroy yourself, destroy yourself. But there's things in position to where you
Wow.
have no choice but to destroy yourself. So
You
when you
okay.
start,
I'm sorry, honey, go ahead. I'm sorry,
no,
continue.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna interrupt only because I'm a social worker and I was having this conversation with you before in your restaurant. And one of the biggest things we learn in social work school is in order to kind of address a need, you have to assess the scene first. And that's
Right,
exactly what you did. You assessed your neighborhood specifically and other neighborhoods. You said you got to venture out of your neighborhood and you got to see a difference. And now you are kind of blessed with that knowledge and you could apply it to your neighborhood and meet the needs of your people. And your people meaning literally your people because your family literally lives in this neighborhood
people, humanity,
and you
people,
and your
period.
people
You
like your
understand?
community,
My
right?
people, right.
Right, absolutely. And I just think that that's wonderful and something that just I could not ignore. Like
You
that's
understand?
amazing.
So it's really using the same type of blueprint, but just on the reverse side. You
Yeah.
understand? Like you said, assessing. I had to
Hmm.
see different neighborhoods. I had to see thriving neighborhoods to understand why does this neighborhood thrive?
Right.
Because
Wow.
this neighborhood have the tools, it have
The
the things
tools.
to thrive. You understand? These are tools.
Woo.
Food is a tool to help us ascend to next levels, to really understand ourselves, to engage certain type of information to grow. So
Hmm.
if we're not eating a certain way, then we're destroying ourselves, subconsciously. And then what happens is we don't even in the environments that I'm come from, that I was brought up in,
Hmm.
you don't even have the idea. You understand?
Yeah.
So even putting the cafe, even though people are not familiar with smoothies and juices, now
Yeah.
you have the idea.
Ah.
You
Right.
get it? So the idea is what brings like the seed you plant it, right?
Right.
Oh, I see something else. You understand? For
Hmm.
me, it was a point in time these stores was the only places I can eat. You
Mm.
know, you get your basic level of health that you learn from your mom and your
Yeah.
dad and schools like, oh, eat your vegetables. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not truly reinforced to a way that you know this is really taking a toll on your mind. This
Yeah.
is taking a toll on your body. You
Right.
understand? So it's not reinforced, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
me seeing that and understanding that, and that was the great purpose, you know, me and my brothers put together a play to really like, because it would have been easy, you know. We could have
Yeah.
went the soul food route. You understand?
Yeah.
We could have did the normalized.
Right.
But even in that, that's playing a part in our destruction.
Yeah.
You know, no shot at thriving soul foods. You know, I appreciate anybody's doing for self or doing a business, but
Mm-hmm.
consuming too much of this stuff is literally killing us. You understand? So
Yeah.
just knowing that is like what I want for me, I want for you. You understand? So I changed the way I eat. I changed the way I live. You know, and I'm
Right.
inspiring people to do the same through
Yeah.
myself. You understand? Through myself. You know, we all have choice. You have the choice. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
policing how you eat,
Right.
but just understand the information, understand what's at stake,
Right.
understand what you're doing to yourself. You know, when we start investigating and we start researching these things, then we kind of pivot, and we need to
Mm.
pivot.
Yeah. And it's crazy that you mentioned like choices and options and getting the information. Like everything is a choice, right? I understand you can choose to eat, soul food, or you can choose to, do fruits and veggies. The problem in Black and Brown communities is sometimes we literally don't have a choice, right? Like the next fresh produce, I believe, is all the way down by Rochdale, if I'm not mistaken. And even when you do go into some of these places for fresh produce, it don't be fresh. Like I be looking for
Yeah,
food and it's
because
just
even
moldy.
even 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 on that level, I'm glad you say that. You know, because I got to go as far as out to Long Island to get the
Mm,
produce for the
okay.
cafe, right? Because I understand that the zip code, even
Mm,
knowing the zip code, they're not even navigating fresh produce
mm,
in these environment because this environment doesn't call for it. So we're not gonna put the best produce there because
yeah.
it'll go bad, you understand? So
Yeah.
now when you start understanding zip codes and you start understanding the environment, then you start understanding the control. So
Yeah.
you can see how destruction has happened without nobody. There's nobody in the neighborhood like
Yeah.
destroy
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's being controlled
Right.
from such
Manipulated.
a high level that you can't even see
Yeah.
until you really take the time out to realize that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then it just on a deeper level, on a spiritual level, it controls how you feel, right? If
Yeah.
you're not eating a certain way, then you're not vibrating a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And then people notice, you know, people notice, right? So I can sell you a certain food because these foods are at the vibration of your level. And these
Mm.
communities are low vibration levels. And when I mean low vibration levels, I mean we're in fear, we're in worry, we're stressed out, we're traumatized.
Yeah.
So processed food, sugars, fried foods, these are straight direct connections to the vibration.
Yeah.
You understand? So we're eating in survival mode, right? We're feeding the trauma, we're feeding the worries, you know,
Right.
just because of our cravings, you know. Then our bodies has been hijacked for so long
Mm.
that we look at health and we look at these things as the enemy. I'm not eating healthy. I want no smoothie. I don't
Right.
want that. You understand? Because it's not projected as a luxury to us. If
Mm.
people start viewing health as a luxury, then they'll
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Then you understand, but then you see that's how the perceptions start getting controlled. So
Absolutely.
really, so really just knowing that, you know, you don't. My part is I don't want to be on the side of the complainers.
Mm.
The destruction is done. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Now what? We just have to be solution based. You
Solution
know,
based. Right.
we have to be a solution based people. You know, we can't stop. You came into this realm as a melanated being. You understand? You ain't
Mhm.
have no control over that except your
Right.
power.
Right.
Ascend, create, build,
Mhm.
and be aware, be observant, you know? And it's a biological way for us to eat just by design,
Hmm.
just by our physical, you know. It's
Right.
we can't even digest that processed food, you know.
Right.
Some
Mhm.
of us some of us consume a lot of meat, you know, not against if you eat meat, but it's hard for us to digest.
Digest it.
So
Yeah.
what happens is the meat start getting caught in our stomachs, you know, it
Yeah.
start getting stuck there because your body can't break it down as it
Yeah.
can. And then dis-ease of the mind start happening. You start getting frustrated, then you start coming up with all of these diseases.
Right.
But the disease is connected to the diet. The diet is connected to the mood. Food is information. Food is
Right.
mood. So when we start observing, like, okay, what am I doing? Then we could pivot and, you know, we can change. It's possible, you know, people, as people, and when I say people, even myself, you know, because I'm not above, I'm not below,
Right.
but we allow our fears and stuff to navigate because we don't know how to eat a certain
Right.
way. We automatically cancel it, you know, because we
Now,
don't know which way to go.
mhm.
We cancel it, and that's just a fear base, right? Because
Yeah.
even if you don't know, like I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out. Is a different
Right.
vibration, you know. So we
Right.
really just got to change the frequency of who we are.
So let me just take it back a little bit because you're talking about like what you know versus what you don't know, what you have access to, what you don't have access to. And before you mentioned like we don't like kind of praise health because health is not a
It's
luxury.
not a luxury.
It's not a luxury. And I would like to add to that by saying, what is presented to us on the media. It's the same thing with like sneakers and fashions and like, ooh, that's attractive, BBLs or whatever. Like we're presented all these things on the media. So it also kind of like causes another manipulation in the mind to think, oh, that looks good, everyone's doing that, everyone's eating that, that restaurant has this many ratings, da da da. So we're kind of chasing that, but not the health. And I just think we could just use more people like you to just help educate the community because some people just don't know better. Some people just don't have the access. They don't have the information. They don't have the attraction because they don't understand like gut health, right? Everything you're saying about meat, like gut health is an actual thing that we don't know about.
Your
So
gut, yeah, your gut is your second brain. It's
yeah.
not your first brain, whoever to put a number on it, but it like for example, your gut produce 90% of serotonin.
Hmm.
Serotonin is a chemical that makes you happy, your
Hmm.
mood. So you see how if you're
Right.
eating something, you will
Hmm.
produce that mood.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to be mindful of
Very
what we
mindful.
eat. You know, we have to be mindful. And just like I like how you pivoted from the food to the media because what we eat is what
Yeah.
we see is
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
still part of
Consume.
our consumptions, right? And what
Period.
we're under is like I was just studying this thing, you know, is military memetics. Military memetics is
Hmm.
informational warfare. The short term for military memetics was memes,
Oh.
utilizing memes to distort information or control how you think.
Oh
So a
wow.
lot of us are on Instagram a lot, right? So we're
Hmm.
consuming a lot of information, we're consuming a lot of image, but
Right.
we're not researching. We're
Hmm.
just utilizing what we see and perceiving that.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's why we have to be aware of what we even see. You know,
Hmm.
we have to be aware of what we even hear.
Right.
We have to be aware of where we place ourselves,
Hmm.
you know, because this all plays a
Absolutely.
part into our consumption. Even
Absolutely.
all the body doing is processing information, sharing information through food, through sight. When you see something, it automatically signals your mind information. Oh, this is what I see. When you
Right.
hear something, these are signals. Oh, this is what I see.
Right.
you know. So we just really have to be aware of this, you know. You have to be aware. And if you
Yeah.
don't care, that's cool. But if you care,
Yeah. You
you
gotta hop
know,
on it. Hop on
you
the
gotta
opportunity.
you gotta you gotta be you gotta be aware, you know, and a lot of this information is sacred for a reason, you know, because a
Mm.
lot of people are not willing to endure the discipline, the
Oh,
amount
yeah.
of discipline that it takes to live a certain lifestyle,
Yeah.
the amount of discipline it takes to become what is perceived as wellness, you know, or the amount of discipline it takes to even be wealthy, you know, is
Oh,
discipline, you
yeah.
know. So it's
Success takes discipline in any field,
discipline,
but
you know, and
yeah.
a lot of times we want a temporary satisfaction, short
Yeah.
term goals, instant feedbacks, you know, like the cafe has been open for almost a year. We had the building for quite some time, but I was living with these ideas 5 years prior to this incident, you know,
Wow.
prior to this, you know. So it really
Yeah.
takes a great amount of discipline, and, you know, and
Wow.
I'm living with new things now, you know, that I really have to be disciplined in my life. I have to
Yeah.
be disciplined in my diet. I have to be
Mhm.
disciplined in my well-being to achieve,
Mhm.
because I understand we all
Absolutely.
want it to look easy, or we glorify the rewards, but the responsibilities is what it takes to get there, you
Yeah.
know. And
Absolutely. It takes a lot.
you don't always know, but you just got
Yeah.
to be willing to
To
walk
learn.
that blind faith and learn,
Right.
you know,
Right,
learning and
right, right.
unlearning and walk that blind faith. I'll be lying if I say, yeah, I had it all figured out.
Right.
No,
Right.
no. It was times where, like, man, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you snap out of it, like, I don't know, but I'm a command what's going on. This is what
Right.
I want to do, you
Right.
know?
Good for you.
Hmm.
Okay, so all right, so now I have to pivot a little bit because this is the Your College Fatherhood Initiative program. So I have
Right.
to
Shout out
pivot
to
a
your
little.
college. Shout out to the
Shout
Father
out to
Initiative. Let's make sure we do our
you.
shout out. Yeah, shout out to your
And we gotta get you on the basketball team. But
right. I'm
so it's
nice and ball.
I believe you. I believe you. So let's segue a little bit. So you're a dad. I want to hear about everything you just said, your incorporation of health. Now, how do you apply the importance of health in your family as a father?
Um, as a father, you know, first and foremost, the best way to lead your family, in my perception, is by example.
Hmm.
So what I do is most important. You know, what I show my daughter, what I show my son is
Hmm.
most important. But I allow my daughter to open her mind, you know. I allow her, she's of age where, you know, I've tried the force way and it kind
Okay.
of backfired, right? Like I introduced my daughter to green juice way too young. Yeah,
Oh, how old was she
like
when you tried?
she was like 1, but I was giving her this, she was too young. It was too much ginger.
You're just
She
getting
ain't
off the
trust me
milk.
since.
Oh
Right, she
my
ain't trust me
gosh.
since, you know, but I understand that as individuals, even as children, we're all our own beings, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just only here to provide guidance. So I allow her to question, you know. So what I do with me and my daughter is
Hmm.
we make it playful. Like, is that healthy? She's like, Daddy,
Oh,
that's not healthy. That's not healthy. Is
that
that
is
healthy? Yeah. So you know, you just plant the seeds, you know, and you engage the at the level that they are, you know.
uh-huh.
So I think that works for me, you know, really planting that in her mind for her to kind of
Okay.
decipher like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
how,
yeah.
and she knows, right? Like when
How
she
old is
have a
she?
piece of cake or something, she's 4, and
Okay, she's 4.
she'll tell me. So like she knows, right?
Good.
And she have a piece of cake and she'd be like, Daddy, that's not healthy. So
Ah!
like, or she'll try to push me away, but as long as the seed lives there, I appreciate that, right? As
Yeah.
long as you know,
Oh,
and as
yeah.
long as you're able to decipher, because
Yeah.
like you said earlier, prior in the conversation, we wasn't able to decipher as
Mhm.
youth.
Yeah.
We was just eating based upon survival. So, you know,
Right.
really just providing guidance, you know, providing
Yeah.
guidance and leading by example. You know, my words is are just point views. What I do is most important, right?
Yeah.
Like if I tell you all listen, then I get off camera and I'm just doing otherwise, and I'm lying.
Yeah.
So like how I speak and what I do is based upon my example, based upon the
Living by
levels
example.
I'm trying to, so living by example, because I don't think nobody's taught by what they say. You're showed.
Mm.
Like you see, like even when you start looking at the environments, just to bring it back to food, nobody said go eat that food. I
Right.
showed you where the food was at.
Right, right, right.
You
Wow.
understand? So I
Eh,
think we learn, and I know that too by just certain things she'd do that like I didn't tell her, but she'd do it. So it's just
Okay. Like
that
what?
example.
What do you mean? Give me an example. Like she'll do
Like
you.
like meditate. Like I
Oh.
would catch her, yes, yeah. So I would catch her meditating on her own
Okay.
sometimes, or she had set her Barbies up to meditate.
Oh
But
my
that's just that's
gosh.
just that's just the example. And I'm like, wow,
Wow.
I didn't say do that, but if
But
you
she's
if
seen
you
you do
show a
that.
child, yeah, if you show them, we learn from what we see. That's why
Yeah.
it's
Heck
important for
yeah.
us to be. That's important for us to be great examples. And I can't be the dad to where like or the person to where like you tell your children to be great and you're not great.
Mm-hmm.
Your children is going to be as great as you be, right?
Right. Right,
From a
right, right.
personal level, because these are your, even me, you look at your mom and your
Mm-hmm.
dad, and then it's like, this is your level. And then like, and you come to a level where you want to go past that, right? But if
Mm-hmm.
I'm growing and my child's growing, then I'm
Yeah.
able to keep providing this guidance, because I don't know, we all have this experience to where you get support from your parents, but you've
Right.
outgrown the level of they living, and you
Yeah.
took on a new path. So
Right.
then it's hard to be nurtured. So you want to always provide that guidance. So I think
Yeah.
it's important just being there, and just being my highest self,
Okay.
regardless of everything, aware of my low self, but always trying to stay on my guard.
And the good thing about parenting is, like you said, you planted the seed, and that seed is going to grow and it's going to sprout. And she's so young. But the good thing about parenting is, like, we always have our parents in the back of our mind. So even if like my mom is nowhere to be found, like, and let's say my mom, taught me like, sugar is bad, or drinking is bad, or whatever. If I get sugar, or if I get a drink, I'm like, dang, I know my mom ain't gonna approve of this. So the same thing with your
You live
daughter.
with
Like,
that.
when you're not around, when daddy's not around, because of how she's watching you, she's gonna be like, oof, I'm in the mood for a donut, but you know what? I can feel you know how you can feel your parents, like, oh God, I know my
Right,
mom
you
was
can
slap
feel
me
it,
a
that
busted.
presence. And I
Yeah.
think that's just the beauty of great parents, like
Yes.
even though we kind of navigate in different spaces, I'm a product of great parents.
Oh, amen.
My mom, like my mom is a representation to me to she's gonna get the job done by any means. I've
Yeah.
seen my mom fall short so many times, but get up gracefully. Like she
Mm.
never stayed down. And
Woo.
that was enough for me. And my dad is just the opposite. That's where I think I possess my calmness, my peace
Okay.
from. I knew this man my whole life, and he's just no matter what, he controlled the perception of how we saw him or how you see him.
Wow.
Despite our traumas and all that, my mom was running through the fire. My dad is
Mm.
sitting in the fire like it don't burn.
Oh, wow.
So you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's the
Okay, so
product
you're
of,
inspired by both of your parents. You're a product of both
yeah.
of their experiences.
And then I was even blessed, God bless his soul, I had a great stepdad.
Okay,
You
nice. Oh, so
understand? So
you
I
got
had a
you the
I
bonus
had a
then.
I had a village, I had a bonus, big
Wow.
brothers, so and I was always observant.
Mhm.
Like I've spent a lot of time, like people be like, wow, I didn't know you speak like this. Yeah, because I spent a lot of time just really observing,
Wow.
just listening and taking in game.
Mhm.
So I had a a lot of people poured into me, you know.
That's
So
amazing. And
so
I'm
yeah,
glad you
I
mentioned that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so I'm really appreciative of that, you know. I'm not
When
the
is
type to say like, yo, I got all this on my own. People poured into me, you know.
Yeah, it
People
takes a
poured
village.
into me. Yeah,
One of the things
even
I
people.
I'm sorry, babe. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry, I keep
No, go
cutting
ahead.
you
No,
off.
no, 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 no. Go ahead. It's cool.
No, I'm just saying, like whenever I do these fatherhood sessions, that's another go-to question of mine. I typically ask, who is your parental inspiration? And it's amazing that you had a dad and a bonus dad, plus a village to kind of pour into you, and you are the product of that. And I want people to really, I need people to really, take that and run with it. Like, you know, I want people to realize everyone who's everyone who's contributing to our community, right? That person is a product of something or someone. It isn't they don't just magically poof out of nowhere. Like it comes from some type of history, some type of experience, some type of research, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's the presence of our mothers and fathers that inspires us. Sometimes it's the absence of our parents that gets us to be more driven.
Right.
Um, it's a lot that contributes to the end product, and you are the end product of these things, and it's really inspiring. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It really it depends on the person, you know. It really depends on the level of who you are, you know, because even knowing my parents, you know, you're responsible for yourself. You're
Mhm.
responsible. You know, you get to these certain levels and these certain ages, and you
Yeah.
have to hold the responsibility for yourself. You know, a lot of times we could spend so much time, even lifetime,
Mhm.
playing a blame game. Oh, you're the reason I'm like this. Mom, you did this to me when I was
Mm.
12 and
Yeah.
I'm 39. It's still your fault. You know, you see how much time go missing for us
Yeah.
just really playing this blame game, you know. So we really just gotta gain a level of awareness and consciousness and really
Yeah.
just step up to the plate like, okay, why am I here? What can
Yeah.
I do now? Like, maybe we change the world later, but what
Mm.
can I do right
Right
now? You know,
now.
bring yourself to this present moment, you know, because
Wow.
even we live on this time illusion, right? Even myself, you know, we got to catch it because
Yeah.
yesterday doesn't exist, tomorrow doesn't exist. We only
Mm.
have this. This is real. We're literally talking right now. This is the realest moment,
Right.
you know. But if we're stuck in our past or we're too worried about our future, then we're never applying ourselves in this now moment. And the
Mm.
right now is where we create the change. Like if I keep taking advantage of this now moment, I keep applying myself in this now moment,
Yeah.
the future I visualize will automatically be the future, you know. Like when
Yeah.
we talk about the cafe, you know, it wasn't just that to open. I had to keep applying myself in these now moments, right? What can
Right.
I do today?
Mm.
Today might just be fixing the floors.
Mm.
Tomorrow might be doing paperwork.
Mhm.
But you really just got to keep applying yourself in this now moment, and then what you visualize come to life for everybody to see. You know,
Right.
if you want it like that, you know, some of
Yeah.
us won't ascend to this level, and that's the truth, you know. But for
Yeah.
us, it's we all have access, you know, and if we
Mhm.
really want to take this course, you know, you really got to take that responsibility. You know, you got to take that awareness and you have to navigate, you know, to really bring out the best, you know. I'm
Right.
speaking for myself, you know, because I want the best in me. I want to bring
Mm.
out my highest self. You
Right.
understand? It's nothing like when you say you want to share the recipe, it's nothing to share the recipe. If I share with you because I understand the
Right.
importance of giving, if I give that to you, I'll get me another one. You
Right.
understand? So we get so caught up in this stingy, like I'm a holder. There's so much we can hold
Mhm.
this way. But if
Right.
we keep doing this, we could do this for a while. You get?
Right.
I can receive, I get. But
I like that.
if we like this, there's so
You can't
much. There's so
Yeah.
much I can hold like this. You get what
You
I'm
can't
saying?
take
But
in no more if you're already holding
yeah,
on to whatever's there, right?
right. So that's
Wow.
how that's you know, that's just my mind. You can't take nothing from me, you know,
Mm.
because I know the source. and
Mm.
I could give because I know where to
Right.
get more and more,
Right.
just from this
Right.
inner space, the sacred space of
Wow.
knowledge, wisdom, we connected to
Right.
infinite abundance,
Hmm.
I don't own these. I don't own
Right.
these thoughts. These are downloads. I'm just pulling them. You
Right.
understand? We sharing the same source.
Mm. Right. So speaking of wisdom and sharing recipes, because we're running out of time a little bit. We're going, but
Uh-oh.
I wanna just get some closing advice from you. So in terms of sharing, what advice would you give to other young men, other young fathers, that if they're not watching now, if they watch this video later on or whatever in the week, like what advice would you have for young men, young fathers, and other people in your community? What advice? Give me your
Um,
number one.
I got a few. That's what
All right, so
number
give me
one,
give me your top
be
two.
there. Okay. Ultimately, be far and fatherhood be far more support than finance.
Okay,
A lot of times we think showing up for a child is just supplying
giving money.
materialism, right?
Uh-huh.
So we kind of get caught. No, but also you also have to be a provider. I'm not saying
Right,
don't be a provider,
right.
but lessons work more. What we install in the child, the
Mhm.
seeds we plant will
Okay,
outlast the money, the material we give.
that
You know,
sure
I
will.
don't I don't remember a lot of the stuff that my dad bought me, but them lessons, it's like, damn, he was
Mm,
pouring in me. You get what I'm saying?
wow.
Like lessons. Like I hit my dad up now, like, man, I didn't even know. Like my dad, when I was a child, he used to call me Jehovah. I
Hmm.
never knew why until I knew
Mhm.
who Jehovah was.
Okay.
And then you get what I'm saying? So it's
Right,
like,
right, right.
wow. So these you have to really be there financially, but also be there, show up,
Okay.
be there for your child and don't stop learning, because the greatest
Right,
thing we can do for our child is to really apply ourselves because
right.
children go off vibrations,
Mhm.
children go off frequencies, so
Right,
it's like you got to really stay in tune. Like if we want our children to be great, we got to be great,
right,
and we got to treat the women that's bringing these children into this realm with greatness,
right.
regardless of the situation, regardless of the situation, just
Yeah,
speaking
yeah,
from
yeah.
perspective, you want to empower the person that's that's the mother of your child,
Right.
period.
Yeah, that's another great
And I'm
lesson.
just, I'm just put the period on there, regardless, period.
Right,
You want to
period. Period.
empower,
Yeah,
you want to
you're right.
empower the mother of the child.
Okay.
You know,
So,
and that
okay, so you said a couple of things because I want to, I got to put this in later. So one of your top advice is to be present in your child's life, not only
right,
financially, but just be present, in terms of engaging as a father.
right,
Um, and you also threw in being, or you kind of said this earlier when we were talking about your daughter, but living the example, and also and being supportive of the mother of the child, because your relationship with her is also important, and it's valuable, and the child is watching that.
that's the seeds. Those are the
Yeah,
seeds.
yeah, yeah,
Those
yeah,
are the
yeah, yeah.
seeds. And a lot of times, I'm not lack of awareness. I know a lot of times we make unconscious decisions,
Yeah.
but I'm speaking from a conscious place.
Right,
I'm
right, right.
speaking from a high place.
Hmm.
When we in it, you got to pull them up now because those are the seeds. You
Yeah.
understand? You know how hard it is. A lot of us as adults, what are we doing? We're healing from
Mm.
childhood trauma.
Yeah.
So if we
Absolutely.
can plant better seeds, then we can cut that time in half. We
Mm.
responding from childhood trauma. Every
Absolutely.
how we respond, how we engage is based on this experience of how we was
Right.
nurtured as a
Yeah.
child.
Wow.
Even
Woo.
me, I didn't even overcome. There's still stuff like that happen, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know this still existed in me.
Mm.
That I have to equip my tools, do
Yeah.
some meditation and let it go. But it's really dedicating your life.
Mm.
Dedicating your life. My life is dedicated to growth. My life is
Mm.
dedicated to learning, unlearning.
Right.
I'm gonna ascend to my higher self, and really breaking out of cycles, not to live in nobody else's cycle.
Wow. Woo. Wow, Mr. Jake, King Jake, Mitch Jataun, Mr. Dream Cafe, Mr. All of the above. You definitely spit some gems tonight, and I just want to say thank you personally for taking out the time to share your experiences, to share your wisdom, to share your entrepreneur slash health slash fatherhood. And I hope that everybody who watches this eventually just really has a couple of takeaways, because you definitely spit some gems. And like you said, everything is about growth. Like, never stop growing, never stop remaining teachable, because essentially, guys, this is how we give back to our children. This is how we give back to our communities. When we never stop, when we continue growing, it benefits everyone around us. So
Right.
thank you, Mr. Jake Mitch.
Appreciate you. We
um, Before we end, we got to do some shameless plugs. We need to hear the address of Dream Cafe. We need to hear some of the things you have on the menu. And thirdly, I want you to briefly mention your yoga experiences, your yoga lessons.
the address of Dream Cafe is 11717 Jamaica, New York, 11434.
Guy Brewer.
God, bro, something that was special on the menu to me is basically that juice bar, man. If you know Paisley Projects, if you know that environment, to even get a side bowl in this community, or to get a supreme green, a green juice in this community, is special, regardless
Mhm.
who show up, it's special to really get these essentials, because
Yeah.
these are worth more than money. We value the money, but this is
Mhm.
this will keep your money coming in, you
I,
know.
OC is on my Instagram live. She said the Aki Bowl.
The side bowl. I don't know, man. I think we all say it different. It's a
Sorry,
side,
sorry.
a aki. No, she say that too. I don't correct people because I don't know. When it was presented to me, it was a side. I
But
see
she
some
loves
people.
them.
Yeah,
OC.
yeah, of course, sister up.
Sister Ock. Hi, Sister Ock. Yeah, we had a couple of people coming in and out of my Instagram.
Right.
I want to say my favorite. My favorite is the Jacquard juice. It's delicious, and I
Right.
get it every time. I get it every time.
That's a community's favorite. I think that's the number one smoothie, and
Ah,
just the yoga is just another aspect.
okay.
Like I said, we've traveled outside these communities. Shout out to Erica Ford. She had tricked my brother into going to a yoga studio, and then somehow his buy-in was like, "Yo, we gonna do this," and
Wow.
then we just started learning yoga, and we started
Okay.
seeing the benefits. And the first thing we wanted to do is really just bring it back to the hood. Like,
Okay.
now I gotta put my people on. Then from there,
Right.
we was able to teach 5,000 plus kids in New York City, teach in San Francisco,
Wow.
San Diego, Aspen, and really just navigating. And when I started moving in these spaces, like, I taught in an international school where there's no melanated people. It was
Wow.
Russian people, it was Chinese people, and I realized we was all affected on a humanity level, So when we
Yeah. Yeah.
start
Yeah.
getting to this humanity conversation, and we start really just talking about real things, then we could make true impact, and just breathing. The
Right.
importance of breathing, breathing is powerful because we're
Mm,
electrical beings, our
right.
cells need breath, and breathing a certain way can balance out our bodies, you know. It
Right.
activate our neuron systems, you know. I could go real deep in this, but you know, just for time, just on
You're
a
gonna save
basic
it for
level,
the
you know,
yoga
just real,
class.
yeah, you know, just on a basic level, we could really just activating ourselves, you know, getting aware of who you are, you know, to really change the dynamic in your reality.
Is your yoga open to females?
Yes, the
Okay.
crazy part is, I've have a bigger female support, the 6 week program
Okay.
and just yoga period. You know, females is more acceptive to yoga, you
Oh,
know.
we're gonna get
I
some
don't
fathers up in here then.
Yeah, that's why the
Need to
fatherhood
stretch.
initiative would have been important, you know, because yeah, you need to stretch. You need to stretch your body, you need to stretch your
Right.
mind, you know, and really start ascending past these titles, you know. Once we get past certain titles and
Yeah.
certain things, then we can grow. But we
Yeah.
don't have a shot if we don't even apply, you
Right.
know.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna share all of that information once this is done and uploaded. I want to definitely we're gonna share the information of the Dream Cafe. We're gonna share the menu. We're gonna share the address. We're gonna share your yoga experiences for anybody who's interested. But anyway, I wanted to say on behalf of the Your College Men's Center, thank you so much,
And
King Jay.
shout out York College one more time. We're gonna shout out
Thank
York again.
you to the
Peace, peace.
YC.
Much
YC.
love to York. Shout out to you, you know, shout out to the work you do, you
Thank
understand?
you. Thank you, Jake. I
Therapy, you
appreciate
know,
that.
and the social work, like you said, you know, a lot of times people will say, "Oh, when did you start?" You know, I've been doing this my whole life.
Whole life,
You
period.
understand?
A whole
I
life.
just I just fit my life into a title.
There you go.
They just got the title, you know.
They just
So,
got the title, right?
you know,
Aw.
me as well, you know, I've been leading my whole life, you know. I've had my
Mm,
fair share of following, you know, and
mm,
then I lost sight of vision, and that's
mm.
scary. But I really just, you know, I just wanted to stay on my cue, you know, and just keep ascending, you know, because when we take care of me, you know, when you put yourself, me, then you can bring up we, you know, for people that's not
Mm.
ready, you know.
That's smart.
All right. Me
Take
is
care of
upside
me.
down we.
Oh, you got
We
bars.
rapping
Now wait
now.
a second. Don't
We
let me put
rapping
you on one
now.
of my songs. I got bars. Pull up on the verse real quick.
Right,
Yo, I'm
right.
messing with you.
Man.
I'm messing with you. All right, let's end this thing, man. I hope that well, I'll end this and then I'll chat with you here, and then we can leave. But anyway, I want to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and thank you, Mr. Jake. And that's going to be the end of our
Peace,
session.
peace, peace, peace.
In the words of
Appreciate
Jake
whoever
Smith,
showed up.
peace, peace.